For more on this antitrust investigation, Joseph Williams, former senior editor at U.S. News and World Report. Good to see you. Thank you and welcome back. The issue with these tickets, so Live Nation says there weren't enough tickets to give out, plus there was excessive demand, so that all jammed the what do you call it, the internet. And in the old days, we would say it jammed the phone line so you couldn't get through to buy your tickets. Who's at fault here for this?
Well, it's clear that Ticketmaster / Live Nation will bear a hefty portion of the blame. And Swifties, man, they're a demanding lot. And you ask Jake Gyllenhaal, you don't want to get on the bad side of them. The bottom line here is, or one of the problems is that this has been going on for years. Ticketmaster, in addition to failing the Swifties this go round, typically add upcharges that can go as high as $50, $60, $70 per ticket, depending on what event you're going to see. So not only do they have a monopoly on this, on ticket sales, they're the only game in town, they also own a lot of the venues. They also own a lot of the promotion companies that promote these artists and that arrange for these concerts. So Ticketmaster basically is a monopoly, and there's no competition, so there's really no incentive for them to get the kind of software that can handle the demand of millions and millions of fans of one particular artist when that artist decides to announce to go on tour. So Ticketmaster clearly bears a large portion of the blame here. The question is, how is that going to get resolved, and how many people are going to have to go empty-handed when they log on to try to get Taylor Swift concert tickets, because Ticketmaster doesn't have the capacity to handle an event this big?
Right. So she's got a number of cities. I looked at the whole list, and it seems to me, like, we're obviously not in charge of any of this, but it seems to me that you would have known there'd be high demand, and you could have maybe not done the whole country all at once, and maybe done, a few cities or a few dates at a time to kind of open them up. I don't understand the thinking behind why it all has to be done all at once, and you created a huge traffic jam. But that said, New York, Tennessee, a number of other states are all now looking into this antitrust problem. I know you've called it a monopoly, but would the courts and the attorney generals find the same result?
It's kind of tricky. And number one, to answer your first question, one of the reasons why Ticketmaster decided to do it all at once, from what I understand, is the fact that they wanted to hoover in as much money as they could, not only in upcharges, but having a monopoly on the sales, having a monopoly on the venues. That's a powerful incentive to try to make as big a money grab as you can, and that includes getting all the money while you can up front and in these pre-sales. Apparently they thought they had enough capacity to handle the pre-sales. They clearly did not. Well, on the question whether or not they'll be held liable, that's kind of a challenge, mainly because the merger between Ticketmaster and Live Nation got approved by the Justice Department with a caveat that they follow certain rules, which include trying to get them to not act like a monopoly. Unfortunately, since that merger was approved during the Obama administration, Ticketmaster has done anything but follow those rules. There have been multiple complaints, thousands of complaints about how Ticketmaster has been acting like the 800-pound gorilla in the room when it comes to concert tickets, and claiming that they're having to force artists to either deal with them or not play at a certain venue at all. So with that kind of running room afield, they've had ample opportunities to correct their behavior. They have ample opportunities for the Justice Department to step in and force them to correct their behavior, including altering a consent decree that they were promising not to do these sorts of things. They clearly feel like they have the ability to act with impunity.
The marketing of it, the promotion of it, both from Taylor Swift and her social media platforms and from Ticketmasters, all said there would be tickets available for the general public. But by the time they went through the pre-sale, there were no tickets for the general public. I'm no legal expert, but if I was trying to get tickets, I would be upset that I would have felt like I was completely misled. And in the business world, that can be construed as very misleading marketing. And you could see attorney generals around the country step in for consumer rights, could they not?
Absolutely. They're already starting to make inquiries and ask fans what their experiences with Ticketmaster were beyond the Taylor Swift concert. So I think there's very real liability here and very real exposure for them, particularly if the Congress gets involved and holds hearings into what exactly happened here and why Ticketmaster should not be held to account.
I mean, I don't want to make a joke out of this, but I could see a situation where Congress asks Taylor Swift to come testify in Congress over how there's too much demand for her tickets. And I'm not saying nothing would get done, but I'm very skeptical that Congress is going to find a solution to sell pop star tickets to the general public. There's got to be a better way to fix this, isn't there?
Well, there should be a better way to fix this, and Congress does have a lot on its plate. The hearings haven't even been scheduled yet. Amy Klobuchar is leading the charge here, along with some Republicans, but there's been no hearing scheduled. There has to be a better way. The question is there going to be a way to force them to find that better way? And that's very much an open question.
All right, excellent stuff. Really appreciate it. Joseph Williams, thank you for coming on the show and talking Taylor Swift and helping the consumers get easier access to tickets. Thank you.